Well, here is another fun moment where I'm creating a video. Well, I wanted to take this time to talk to you, my YouTube audience. I know I've lacked posting a lot of videos. I want to start doing that some more. So I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to do it very different from what I usually do over there on TikTok. On TikTok, it's more just short videos response. But I'm going to tell you some interesting details in my own personal life. Well, in my own personal life, a lot of you may not be aware, I have a very interesting dynamic with work experience, in that I have only worked in fast food for an extremely short amount of time, like less than a month. But if you look at every other place I've worked, it has been hard and has been upper crust kind of work. I worked in a national park resort for a little under a year, fulfilling 3 separate roles during my time there. One of them was unofficial, but it was still one that was being done. Where I was a housekeeper, or what they refer to as a guest room attendant at that national park resort, a house person, and unofficially I was a room inspector. Later on, I would start working. Now this is when the stuff just barely started to lift. During the pandemic, I would get another job, and it would be working for Amazon at one of their fulfillment centers out there in California. It was nice. Very fast paced, and actually, frankly, the biggest reason why I even left it was due to a desire to get back into my old industry. Well, turns out close to where I lived, there was a casino, and when it started lifting more regulations in the during the pandemic, and it started to open back up, they had a big hiring push, and I got on with them in their housekeeping department. Now, the thing you gotta remember is, in Southern California, most tribal casinos are in the 3 to 4 diamond bracket when it comes to quality. That national park resort was in the same boat. So, when I got interviewed, I had a lot of questions from the housekeeping department leadership. Did I know this? Did I know that? And one of the questions threw me for a loop because I did not know their terminology for something that I usually did at the other resort, and they refer to it as triple sheeting. I commonly just knew it as making the bed. So when they asked me that, I'm like, I'm not sure if it's the same thing, but I brought up a video that showed the way the beds were at the National Park Resort. And they said that's exactly what we mean by triple sheeting. I'm like, I turned around and told them I never knew that there was a special term for it. Well, I would do that for a little under a year. And I would also work in that same casino's call center for a short period of time. Well, due to circumstances, I left that casino and went to another 4 diamond level thing, but under their facilities department where they cleaned the public areas. And the main reason why I left the first casino for the second one was in the deal was a promise to consider promotion. And when I found out they weren't going to do that, they weren't going to honor that, I decided, well, I would just randomly see what's going on in the old casino. I didn't leave the old casino on bad terms. I made sure they understood what was going on and so forth. So, I left and then went back to that same casino under their facilities team. Now, this is where the key thing is. Due to circumstances, I had to relocate all the way across the country. And right now, I'm getting used to the area that I just moved to. Well, the difficulty here is the area I just moved to doesn't really have the same casino or 4 diamond resort kind of environment. So I'm again having to retool my professional career to a new area. And that's not to say it's bad. In many ways, this decision was a good one. Now, I can't talk about where I currently work, but I can tell you that for me it is a very good decision. Now, I do want you guys to know that when you have to retool yourself into a new career, it's not always going to be a smooth retool. I had that issue when I worked for Amazon. That was completely different from anything I've done prior to that, because I've predominantly been in hospitality, my career at that point. But when I had to retool that myself to that, I had to figure out different pathways to make do with the circumstance. Again, this does happen. Now, working in fast food is definitely not something for me. It's not something that I am really skilled at because, frankly, the spaces to do things that I know I need to do are too confined in the back end. But I want you to know, if your organization really wants you to succeed, they will train you. They will give you that tools. But you have to make the effort to actually implement and actually learn them and actually utilize them. Because it's not always going to be a simple adjustment.